So this weekend is a very special one for One Piece. So on August 5th, August 6th in Japan, episode 1071 will be releasing. And this episode is special because this will be the introduction, the anime introduction of Luffy's the Gear 5th. So if you've been reading the manga, this came out back last year. And if you saw One Piece film Red, you saw the form very briefly toward the end there, but this will be the first debut of seeing Gear 5th in action in animation. So, a lot of people have been very excited about it, and I want to talk about that a little bit today. But first, I want to give you a background on my time with One Piece. So, I've been following One Piece for about 15 years now. And I started with the Four Kids dub. Some of you probably know that. And I went to the Funimation dub. Then I started reading the manga. And then I added in the Japanese sub. So I've been following both the manga and the sub weekly for probably 8 or 9 years at this point. But overall, I've been following the series for a little over 15 years. And so with the manga and the manga being so with the anime and the anime being much more prevalent in the West than the manga, a lot more eyes are on this Gear Fifth reveal than the manga. So I've seen a lot of different posts on Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, even talking about ways to get into One Piece. People wanting to get into One Piece the fastest way possible so they can be a part of that historic moment in seeing Gear 5 in action. And it got me to think about it a little bit because I'm someone who's been here for a while now, and one, I really do enjoy seeing a lot more people get into a series I love so much. But seeing people want to sort of binge the story, get through it as fast as possible to get to this moment, it got me to think a little bit. And so, if you are someone who wants to, get in and be there on Saturday night, Sunday morning, I have to ask, are you interested in, being a part of One Piece, being a part of the community to enjoy the journey, understand what Gear Fifth means for Luffy as a character and for One Piece as a series? Or do you want to be there for the hype moment? Be a part of the discussion and talk about this amongst your friends and the anime community. So, depending on which camp you fall in, I do have two very different recommendations. And so, if you want to be there to, enjoy the journey, enjoy the characters and the setting, then honestly, I'd recommend just taking this at your own pace. Start at chapter one, start at episode one, and just work your way through the content very systematically. I found that, One Piece is a very dense series. It can be sort of deceptively dense, where there are a lot of different characters and moving parts. It sort of starts off as your typical shonen fare with a almost monster of the week, villain of the week sort of setting. But as you get through the series, it starts to get more a bit more political as you start to see the different factions start to form around the world and how Luffy and the Straw Hat crew interact with these different factions. There are a lot of moving pieces as you go through, and in Wano and beyond, we know that this is going to just become more and more prevalent. And I say that to say that there are a lot of things to keep up with the One Piece series. And a quick read, a quick binge, you may miss some of those very subtle moments in the series, even some of the quieter moments as you reach into the current content. So, if you want to be able to understand a lot of the subtlety and the nuance into the characters, the themes, the world itself, then take your time. Gear Fifth is something that you really will appreciate a lot more as you understand more of the series and more of the themes as well. So take it slow if you want to be there for the journey. Now, if you want to be there for the hype, then, don't worry about catching up. Just watch the episode. Take it for what it is and come into it. I'd recommend coming into it with no preconceived notions. Just watch the episode for what it is. And then if what you see really wows you, really gets you interested in like, whoa, how did we get to that point? Then I'd recommend going back to the beginning. Watch Luffy start as a 17-year-old kid setting off on a little boat all by himself. Watch him gain friends, gain allies. Watch his highs and watch him come down to those very crushing lows. And watch him build himself back up. And watch how all of these moments make Luffy the character that he is, and how that impacts the reveal of Gear 5. And then I want you to compare your experience with watching Gear 5 with all of that new context versus how you felt watching episode 1071 with no context, and see how it's different. So that's all I wanted to say from someone who has been watching and reading One Piece for a very, very long time. And I want to know your comments. Drop them in the comment section below and let me know how you feel about this really historic moment in the One Piece community and in anime as a whole. And that's all I have to say. And thank you for listening.